Hey there, welcome back. This is Lucas Catton here. And I wanted to continue on a theme that I had started with a blog post the other day on lucascatton.com and talked about on the podcast for Support for Guys. And I titled those Staying Above the Mendoza Line in Life. And not that I want to belabor those points necessarily, but I do want to continue part of that and focus on really one specific aspect of that. The Mendoza line is sort of like the lowest acceptable batting average in baseball. And it's kind of like the make break point of whether or not you can stay in the big leagues or play at all. And too many times we, and me especially, have a tendency to, in order to get out of a slump, to swing for the fences, to try and hit a home run, to try and make some next big move, to make some drastic change and dig out of a hole. When in actual fact, the chances are much more likely that we'll strike out again and possibly slide back even further or dig a little bit deeper. And what's really needed is to make small incremental changes. And in the analogy of batting and baseball is making contact. It's getting in the batter's box and making contact, swinging the bat. Hopefully, you'll hit a fair ball that you can beat out for a single or maybe a bloop. That'll turn into a base hit or something. And you'll improve your average a little bit. And you'll also gain a little bit more confidence. And in looking at life as a whole, it's kind of like whether or not we have our head above water. And really in this particular thing, if we took our temperature in any given point in our lives and we kind of felt how we're doing in these areas, whether it's work and career or family, such as children or extended family, or your significant other or spouse, your spiritual and mental well-being, your physical health, your finances, all these different things that we can kind of break life down into and take that temperature and go, how am I doing in this area at this given point in my life? What are some of the things that need some fine-tuning, need some slight adjustments in order to improve just a little bit? And then identify, once those things are found out that need some improvement, identify some small thing that can be done to improve those areas. And over time, just like getting a bloop single will improve our average, will improve the statistics, will improve the routines a little bit, and we'll feel better about it. We'll have a little bit more confidence going into it, and we'll have a small victory of I did this time, and I know that I can do that again, and I know that I can improve again upon that point, or repeat that same thing and have a similar result again down the road. And as those things accumulate over time, then we can start to have larger and larger victories, especially when we look back at where we were. And we were back, batting 200, let's say, and barely staying above that line. And over time, over the next 100 at bats, if we get 10 more, all of a sudden we're batting 300. And that's fantastic. If we're looking at it from finances and we're able to make some small tweaks in our spending and save a little bit of money, then over time we have a little bit more in the bank and we feel better, we feel a little bit more secure, or we're able to buy those things that we didn't think we could afford otherwise. Or we can make a little bit more money at work through our jobs or through adding some things on the side. Or, if we're not feeling healthy and we can do a little bit of exercise at home or take some walks or, to cut out some things that aren't healthy in our diet or our daily habits and routines. Those types of things that they don't have to be huge monumental shifts or change in how we approach our daily life. But over time, they accumulate. And especially when there might be multiple areas in our lives where we are struggling a little bit. And if we can make those small changes in multiple areas, we start to feel a lot better overall over time, not just in those areas, but in our lives as a whole. And that's really that's sort of my shtick, is we don't have to make these huge shifts in life, things that people don't usually stick to. We don't have to strive for complete excellence. We don't have to strive for mastery. We don't have to strive for, high performance and all these things. We can make small incremental changes and therefore have improvements. And over time, have a much better quality of life. Today, starting with some small victory today or some small tweak or improvement right now, that we feel better about and we have a better result about, and our day goes a little bit better. But then certainly over time, as those accumulate in multiple areas. That's my soapbox for today. Take a look at some of those things. Take your temperature in different parts of your life, how things feel. What are some small changes you can make, or small improvements that you can make, things that you can do right now to improve today just a little bit and continue on that pattern. I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel, take a look at lucascatton.com, take a look at some of the podcasts, subscribe to the podcast. There should be a lot more stuff coming in the near future, and I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to connecting with you. Thanks.